Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. I hope you had a good 10 or 12 days in trading. I've been kind of out of pocket. Do apologize for that. Of course, while I was out of pocket, we had some big news with Novavax, big dip in the after hours one day. We're going to talk about that as we look at our portfolio this week. Um, Also, we have some that have been doing pretty good because of the Bitcoin movement, and so we'll talk about that as well as we look at our portfolio. Of course, the big one is Novavax because that's where we're really heavy in, and so we will discuss some of what's going on there as we look at the portfolio. So let's go ahead and jump in to our portfolio. Take a look at that again. Apologize for being away for so long. Wasn't able to get in here and do anything. So, but we're back now, and let's go ahead and take a look at our portfolio. All right, so here is the portfolio. As you can see here, top of our list, we do have Bitcoin listed there. Bitcoin has been on a move here lately. We'll go ahead and pull that chart up, take a look at the 5-day. But it has been on a pretty good move here lately, which is causing some of our other stocks that we trade to go up. I'll go ahead and put a 1-month chart. You can see the nice trend here on Bitcoin. Just not too long ago, it was in the 30s. I think it was around 39 a while back, but here it is. It's all the way up to about 60,000. We hit 64 something the other day, I believe it was. That's saying 66, so it might have even been more than that. So, but a really good move. Had a couple of ETFs open for Bitcoin. So if you wanted to trade, there are a couple ETFs for Bitcoin now. You can check the Google there to find out what they are. But that's a way to trade now. It's a futures ETF, so it's not really tied to Bitcoin. It's tied to the futures, and it just gives you a chance to trade options and things like that. So, but it's an ETF. So if you want to play it, that's one way of doing it. Of course, there's GBTC, there's MicroStrategies, there's others as well. So all kinds of ways that you can play Bitcoin now. But the best thing to do if you're going to get into it is to buy it directly, get you a Coinbase or Coinbase Pro account set up. So that's what I would do if I was going to jump in, and I am in. I started that earlier this year. But what I've also been doing is I've been trading these two stocks here, MSTR. Now, MSTR's got up there pretty high, so I really don't want to tie up that much cash. So I'm not really doing anything with it anymore. But I am trading this HUT, and this is a Bitcoin miner. So let me go ahead and pull up the chart on this. We did trade that while I was out, and I did trade it. I bought it on the 21st around 1170. Let's go ahead and pull that chart up. Let's see. The 21st was last Thursday. I bought it around this mark here, around 1170, right in here, and actually had a pretty good little movement on it. Friday I could have got out of it and made a little bit, but then it came down. But then Monday it shot up, and let's see, Monday was the 25th. I actually ended up selling at 26. So 26, it got up here, it dropped down a little bit here, and then once it went back up, I decided to sell it. I sold it 12.25, as you can see here. That was a pretty good little 4.7% that I made in a few days. But you can see here, I did sell it a little early, but because it ran up to 13 something on that high, 1341. So that was a new high and everything. But it's come back down a little bit today. What we're going to do here is this is the one we're going to trade in our accounts as far as if we're trying to play Bitcoin, we're going to trade this one, HUT. And what I'm going to be looking for is a price back around that 1170, 1150 mark. If I can get in around there, definitely will be trying to get in there. I may even do it even a little higher than that, just depending on what Bitcoin is looking like. But that 1150, 1170, and anything above, 1220, 1225 would be a good trade, a quick trade. I'm buying quite a few shares when I do it, and that's what I did last week, and I bought quite a few shares of it. And so it's a pretty good bit of money that you can make in a quick trade. But of course, if it doesn't go right, you might be tied up with those shares for a while. And I trust that Bitcoin's still going to keep going for years over with. So that's kind of why I feel pretty comfortable doing that. So that's what we're going to do as far as trading Bitcoin in our IRAs. Now we do have Bitcoin. We actually own some Bitcoin directly from Coinbase Pros. What I usually trade in there, but I don't trade it a lot. As a matter of fact, I don't ever trade the Bitcoin or the Ethereum. There's a couple other coins I bought that I have traded, and right now what I'm holding is pretty much Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So those are the main ones I'm holding. All right, but it's doing pretty good. That account is, but so here's the one I'm trading though. If I'm going to trade in the IRAs, it's going to be this HUT 8 or HUT 8 mining is what it is, Bitcoin miner. All right, here's the one we need to talk about. This is Novavax. Now, Novavax, before we do this, let's just go back. I want to talk a little bit about anytime something bad happens to a stock, like the drop we had in after hours the other day. And I mean, it was a terrible drop. It was as much as $50-something, and then it fought its way back to the 20s the next day, I think it was. So it didn't end up being as bad as that, but it was all based on a article that came out. The article came out from an outfit called Politico. They were claiming there were still some issues with manufacturing and unnamed sources and those kind of things. And so, to me, it just looked like your typical hit job to drive the price of the shares down, which they did really good, and it's not recovered yet. But the company came out the very next day and said they are still comfortable with their previous commitments and the production levels and the approval timelines and things like that. So they didn't say anything was wrong, and so it did recoup a little bit that day, but it has been having a rough go at it here the last few days on very low volume, which tells me that's your weekends getting out. People that are very frustrated, and it's understandable to be frustrated. But this is where you got to be tough, and this is where you got to hang on if you're going to try to make money at these stocks, especially these pharmaceuticals. Now this could go south, and it could be bad from here on out. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the company has refuted any such production problems. Now they've got earnings coming up in a few weeks, I think, so they may have some news there. But right now they are saying everything's still on track, and so I hadn't changed my opinion on the company. The stock's definitely broke right now, though. The stock is broke. That's what you look for, whether a company's broke, stock's broke, or the market's broke. Well, the market's not broke because the market's hitting all-time highs, and the company is not broke right now, as far as I can tell, based off of the public relations that came out after that Politico article. So I feel like everything's still okay there, even though we're way further down than I ever thought we would be. I was hoping we'd be around that 200 level at least when we do get the good news, so we can blast off from there. But we could blast off from here any day. And so let me go show you something I want to show you and talk about this a little bit too, that you're going to see whenever you see something bad like that happen to a stock. You're going to see a lot of articles like this. And all this is a bunch of lawyers trying to make some money, okay? There's one in Novavax investigations, trial attorneys, blah, blah, blah. So see, that's just every article you're seeing here, ongoing investigation, blah, 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 blah. So that's what you see whenever something bad happens to a stock. You'll see these kind of articles come out talking about lawyers are doing this and lawyers doing that. Contact the lawyers so they can make some money. Okay, you're not going to get pennies on the dollar if you ever won one of these, but unless you sold it and lost money and all that kind of stuff, you probably don't even have a case. I hadn't sold any. Matter of fact, I bought some. Bought some on the 19th for $160.85. So that's that's what I do when things like this go down, and I don't feel like the story's changed. Even though I'm heavy in Novavax right now, I still went ahead and added a little bit. Okay, so here's some more ongoing allegation, ongoing investigation alert, blah 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 blah. Now you keep scrolling down, you'll see something like this. This popular stock has 93% upside according to Wall Street. So that was just 16 hours ago by Motley Fool. So this I'd have more confidence in than these law firms going on. So don't pay attention to those. You'll see it anytime you have a stock that goes south. You'll see stuff like that for sure. But don't worry about it. Tilray. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tilray. We're going to hang on to Novavax. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to hold tight. And as a matter of fact, we did add, like I said. Tilray, $10.71 here. Tilray did have a little, seemed like it was making a pretty good move there. And then here we go, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday has been down. Well, Friday and Monday it was pretty flat there, but for some reason it's coming down. I don't know why, but it had gotten up here. You see here all the way up to this almost $12 mark. But that's one we're just waiting on. That's one of those that we're not worried about. Nicola's the same. We're so far in the hole on these. Pretty much everything I'm holding right now is pretty far down. Because we sell winners around here, we don't hang on to them very long. And the ones that when they go down, we just hang on to them. So it may take a month, it may take 6 months, it may take a year or two. Sometimes it takes that long. And at some point, you can make a decision and say, I'm out. I'm done with that one. I'm gonna put my cash somewhere else. We may get there on some of those, but we've really been doing okay, and just to let them sit there because, we're pocketing money on other trades. Just like this week, we pocketed that money on HUT, and so as long as you can do that and you can make money like you need to, sometimes your portfolios are going to take hits based on these things going up and down, and you can't worry about that. That's just part of owning stocks. All right. So anyway, let's go back to Nikola. Nikola, you can see here it's 5-day chart. Almost kind of flat, but it's had a good day here, and it comes back down. So not much going on there. Let's take a look at the 1 month on that. Yes, even the 1 month's down. So those are just some stocks that are just not going to be doing much at all. Futures, you can see the futures here. It looks like they're a little red. So we're not going to worry about that right now. That's very little. So the markets have been good. Like I said, markets have been good. Novavax is what's been hurting me the last couple of weeks. And if you looked at that volume for today and other days when it's just kind of took a little hit, you'll see it's low volume, but it does make a pretty good comeback. It will go down $2 or $3 a share and then fight its way back. Yesterday it actually fought its way back to the green, and it did pretty good. And today it was down $3 or $4 and fought its way back up less than $1 down today. So it's people are just totally frustrated. What's going to take? It's going to take this news about more approval applications and an actual approval. We got to get an actual approval before this thing's going to move. I believe so. I don't know if you're holding it. This is not financial advice, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang on. And I wished I had waited a while before I had bought any, because I'd be loading the boat right now. If I didn't have any, I sure would be buying it right now. And I mean, I'd be loading up. I could probably have a lot more shares than I've actually got. But we've got plenty, so we're going to hang on to it. This is the reason I can have so many. This go round is because we've traded this thing for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and we've done real well on it. We're way ahead. We're playing with the house's money. So it's not like, they're going to get us with what we've got invested. I don't want to lose it by any means. I don't think it would lose every bit of it anyway. So that doesn't concern me. All right. So we're just going to hang in there, hang tight with Novavax, and hopefully we'll get some news in the next week or two and see this thing make a turn. All right. Well, again, apologize for not being on here. Actually was out of town, had to go see a grandbaby, and so we visited with them for a little while. But we'll be back on here. Try to be back on here later on in the week, maybe after the markets close on Friday. Okay. All right. Well, have a great rest of your week, and hang in there. And hope you're doing well on your trading. Thanks. Bye.